Hello everyone, and welcome back to another roundtable session. Starting with this video, we're going to be exploring the concept of questing in the MMO. Now, as I've been doing in the last section of roundtable videos, I will do the best I can to keep these videos 10 minutes, 15 minutes at most, though from time to time I'm sure we're going to end up in a debate that could be heated and would require us to run over, and if that happens, it happens. Now, Zach has already put together a lot of ideas, an outline, basically just to give us some structure in which we can begin. And hopefully over the next bunch of videos, because this is probably not going to be knocked out quickly. This is really one of the core aspects of making an MMO fun.
And I've assembled a lot of ideas on the subject.
Yeah. So, go and hit pause, get some coffee or some soda, and come back and just kick back, relax, listen to what we have to say, and of course we're doing all this live, with the exception of Zach with a rudimentary outline. And if you have suggestions or there's things that you like or don't like, please feel free to add them into the MMO classroom. So with that, Zach, let me go ahead and hand it over to you.
Sure.
Starting with this roundtable session, just to let everyone know, we do have Nelson and Gavin with us. Unfortunately, Nato was not able to be here as he was once again heading back out of town.
Yeah, he's preoccupied at the moment. All right, well, this video is actually going to be kind of short. What I'd like to do here is just kind of go over the primary categories that I want to cover. Okay. And we can kind of move forward from there, breaking each one down. I will warn you, each one of these categories that I'm about to list off breaks down into multiple sub-levels. I mean, it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper.
But even at the high level of categorization, Nelson or Gavin might have some input for something we hadn't thought of.
Sure, sure. And if because I've at least got the rudimentary outline to help us out, if they mention something, I can at least say, well, that's going to kind of be included in this category. Or if it's something else we need to kind of bring up on the fly, we can do it as soon as we wrap up all the other topics.
Sounds great.
So the first thing I have is, I guess fundamentally we're going to have quests. All right, cool, that's decided. So something important did happen in this video. We have quest categories and types. And there is a difference between the two, and if you find yourself going, oh, what's the difference between a category and a type, bear with me. That will all become clear. The next one is going to be the central job board. What this is something that we've kind of conceived of as being a primary location for people to get new jobs inside of our MMO world. It could very well manifest in a lot of different ways. It could be something that players actually walk up to, like a kiosk. It could be something that you keep on a mobile device. But the concepts behind how it's going to work and how quests will be presented for acceptance or rejection and how you're going to determine whether or not they've been completed is covered in this section. Next, I have 3 different sections that all kind of base themselves around the idea of reputation. Like that really cool bad guy from Firefly. He had that big thing about reputation, and I've actually written that up. Niska was big about reputation, and I've got a lot of ideas about that. Actually, I've got 3 separate subsections on reputation that we'll be breaking down. We have faction reputation. We have what I'm currently calling a job completion score, which is completely separate from this. And then we have player-to-player reputation. Which is going to be critical if we want to be able to create quests for other players.
Player-generated quests.
Sure, and that's actually covered underneath our quest categories and types.
No, but I was saying, are you referring to if we're wanting to do the player-to-player?
Absolutely. Then we're gonna if we have player-generated quests, if I make a quest for you, then I need to be able to have some sort of a reputation value associated with that. We need some way to handle reputation. So
talking about kind of like if in the real world I want to hire someone on to help code, I need some sort of resume or proof.
You need something to show what what they've been up to. Are they reliable?
Exactly.
And one of the things that we'll talk about later is almost like a tie-in to how online purchasing stores work. Things like eBay, Amazon. Mm-hmm. So, and then the last section that I've got, really, is just general stipulations. And this is a section that I've reserved for things that I have seen in Quest that I either really liked or didn't like, any problems that I've seen in questing systems of other games, rules that I think we should keep in mind for general quest systems across the board. And it might, I haven't yet decided, we can kind of discuss this real quickly. I was actually wondering if the discussion should kind of start here. But on my outline, it was one of the last things I put in. Though I did find myself all throughout the creation of my my notes, I found myself jumping down to it quite a lot and going, here's a problem that I remember from Eve or World of Warcraft or even Oblivion or.
Okay, so it wouldn't feel necessary for us to go over the other sections first if we have stipulations that are relevant to a concept that's not generally available in questing.
It's
right
one
now?
of those trade-off things.
Gotcha.
Because I mean, the some of the stipulations will probably make more sense if if we've discussed some of the other ideas, but we'll probably end up saving it for the end. It's just there's a lot of them. it's one of those things. So these are the primary categories that I have. Now, does anybody else have...
Nelson, jump in there and say you hate it and tell us why.
Well, I
haven't given him a lot to hate, really.
No, I hate it. I hate it.
Good man.
Okay.
I can't tell you why, but I just do.
Okay, well, it's probably, I'm thinking it's these asterisks right here are killing it for you. And I understand. I mean, not necessarily the topics within them, but the actual asterisks themselves have killed it, and I understand that.
Well, they're about 30 pixels too far.
That's kind of what I
There
thought.
you go. Well, is there anything else that either one of you would like to see added to the overall discussion that we could at least take a note about?
I do have something actually to say. As far as stipulations, my vote is just to integrate that in our discussions with everything else, and just delete it as its own comment.
Yeah, I was thinking of that a second ago when you were talking, Zach. Maybe that we just keep another layer.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, what Zach's getting at is well, let's do this. How about as we just randomly, I know Zach's going to show me that there's like 12 million things in there. But
well, not only are there 12 million things, there are 12 million things that are all sub-referenced and kind of in their own section.
But what if we did it this way? What if while we are working through these different areas without referring to the stipulation section inside the outline, as things come up, those you can just jump over and jot down on like a stipulations layer?
Sure.
But then when we get to the end of all of this, then we're going to have stuff that will have already been in your list. And then, of course, there's things that's not going to be in
the
your
good
list.
news is, as far as I can remember, because I guess I have to understand, I've assembled all of these notes over weeks of on and off working on all of this, keeping a lot of thought in mind at all times. Generally, the stipulations section that I have pertains to questing in general. Mm-hmm. And that anything specific that needs to be brought up in terms of a particular concept or whatever is already in that section.
Okay, tied to the concept itself.
With probably a few exceptions here and there, but I tried to be as clear as I could be.
Wait a second, are you saying that I can't say, while we're talking about quest categories and types, that, well, in this game, blah, blah, blah happened?
No, you can say that by all means.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, my stipulation section is just kind of like
I guess you're saying it's a highly generalized.
Yeah, generic ideas, problems, and solutions for questing as a whole, for the very concept of questing.
Okay.
So that's just, like I said, it's kind of a catch-all section that I have that I want to discuss. I've taken a lot of notes on it, and those notes do not need to go to waste.
And Gavin, I not used to hearing you this quiet. You got any thoughts?
Other than I would prefer to see you use shift if you're drawing straight lines.
Oh, come on!
I'm happy to go as we are at the moment because.
Thank you, Zach. Much better.
Make sure that
horrible.
Yeah, it's some continent. That's the continent of stipulations right there.
Awesome.
It looks like I tried to draw an O with my mouse.
Just about to say with your mouth. But
that's what I thought too. Okay, so I think then we're good to go ahead and move forward. So what we'll do is we'll just tick straight down the list. And then when we get to the end, we'll stop.
Yeah, that sounds good. And, of course, we always reserve the right to modify order or any type of presentation data as we move forward because, again, this is supposed to be over the shoulder. So thanks a lot, everyone, and we will catch you guys in the next video where we will be continuing.